Hey everybody, how you doing? Sorry, I'm a little sweaty. I decided to go on a jog, and it takes me a while to kind of cool down. So I was trying to do that before the severe thunderstorms hit, and here we go. And yes, it was my monthly jog. So here is what we have going on right now. I'm just kind of setting everything up here. So I'm just waiting for people to get in, pulling up all my data stuff and everything. It takes about 5 seconds, and that's what I'm doing right now. Now, I believe they're out doing, or they did some storm surveys today, but I'm not seeing any updates on that yet. But currently, here's what we have going on. Let me go ahead and pull this up so I can see comments. Make sure my sound's down because it never is. There we go. All right, yeah, we have enough of y'all in here. We can start talking. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Rapides, Evangeline, and Allen Parish until 5. We're at 4:23 right now. Let me pause this and take that off. There we go. Another warning out west, just west of the Sabine River there, and you can see the outflow boundary that's coming in from the south. Let's put it in motion again now. So this storm has been the most active one. These storms, they're not moving in as reliable of a fashion as you would see typically from a severe thunderstorm because they're going to be propagating along this outflow. And what that means is we'll see storms kind of try and die out behind the outflow as that chokes off the instability, but new storms then form as that outflow surges to the north. And what's going to be really interesting is up to the northwest. And hold on, let me see if I can pull up the Shreveport radar and see this even better. Bad in Oakdale right now? Yeah, that I would imagine is the case. So I don't see the outflow yet, but let's go back then to our radar down south, or right here. Yeah, Allen Parish just getting hammered. That's what it looks like. I mean, this one is pretty rough out there. And then another one that's moving into southwestern Vernon Parish. But there's your outflow. So let's say you're on Toledo Bend right now. Looks clear. This outflow is going to bring some pretty stout wind gusts. So 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts are possible as that moves through. So you're going to want to be off the lake because this outflow also, it only goes up. It's basically you're seeing little particles, like I mean anything from bugs to birds and whatever. It's getting kind of shoved along that outflow, and it goes up to about 3,500 feet is what I'm seeing on this on both ends. So yeah, so it's out here. We're just not able to see it because the radar tilts up and we continue to shoot higher into the sky and we don't see that. So this outflow, a big composite outflow, stretches all the way along this. This is kicked through Sam Rayburn, I'm guessing, and this is just now getting to the south side of Toledo Bend, and this is going to cause some rapidly changing conditions. So you're in the severe thunderstorm watch. You're not near a warning up there, but it's just something I want you to know. Not only there, but I mean Vernon Lake. If you're on IAT here in the next hour or so, Catahoula, Coteal, Kincaid, about to hit there as well. Any body of water that's basically north of Leesville to Woodworth to Bunkie, you are about to see these outflow winds. Now we also have our severe thunderstorm warning. And again, if you're just tuning in, why is Nick sweating a little bit? I took a run. I do that once a month, whether I need to or not. And yeah, so I'm quite toasty. Let's see. I'm just looking to see what we have here. Nothing showing up really. Just they're talking about the warning, possibly getting some hail out of this storm. Let me know if you're seeing that. And possibly some winds up to 60 miles per hour. So that's going to be your main threat out of this. This does not have a tornado threat attached to it at this point. The severe thunderstorm watch, you can see, just keeps getting expanded here. It's kind of funny how this worked. It went from Beauregard to Allen. Then we had Sabine and Natchitoches get included. Now Vernon, Rapides, Evangeline, St. Landry, and Avoyelles, we're all in this severe thunderstorm watch. And it's because we have this coming up from the south. We have more storms coming in from the northwest that are going to impact our northern parishes, and we're going to be watching this all through the evening. I don't think this is going to last terribly long. Let's see how long they put that watch out until. Because once that outflow gets through, your severe threat is going to not instantly drop, but it's going to drop a little bit after that. So 9 o'clock up north, because these storms are coming in from that way. Where we see these storms up to the northwest intersect with this outflow, I'll be interested to see how that works out. Hopefully that's going to be north of our area if it happens at all, but I could see that happening from around Mansfield up into north of Natchitoches toward Winfield, so something to watch right there. As of now, we have this one warning ongoing. You know what's happening around Oakdale. It's been just a coming down that way. Got a picture from someone, some pretty crazy looking skies in Forest Hill, and that was seeing the outflow to the south. And then there's your current warning that we have in place. Let me just check the hail swath. Yeah, it looks like if we have hail, this is not an ideal setup for hail, but if we do have it, it would be now moving in toward Turkey Creek, west of there towards Cypress Creek, Oakdale. I'll put it in motion so you can kind of see. Yeah, moved across there. As this thing pulsed up, that's when they issued your warning right there. This one down here, that died out. So that's lining up very well with our warning. We have another warning out here in Newton County, Texas, and that looks like, it could end up impacting parts of Vernon Parish, but we're also seeing that storm looking a little bit weaker. So good stuff there. Another warning there between Baton Rouge and Hammond. If you are headed anywhere south of Alexandria, travel's going to be rough today. There are some new cells that are forming behind the outflow. They're staying pretty weak down to our southwest. And then I wanted to read you the text on this warning. Just we're going to be laid back and we're just going to do our thing here. Severe thunderstorm warning for south central Rapides Parish, northwestern Evangeline, and northeastern Allen Parish. This is a severe thunderstorm that's located near Oakdale, moving northeast at 15. This could contain 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-sized hail. This is a base warning here. These are both your kind of lower thresholds for what we need for warnings, and that includes Oakdale, Glenmora, Turkey Creek, Pine Prairie, Allen Parish Airport, Beaver, and McNary. Let's see. I wouldn't think tornado. I can't, guarantee anything, but seeing the way that outflow's surging north, you could get a brief tornado to spin up on the leading edge of something like this, but the winds we're not seeing that signature in here for that. Now, again, I'm not going to say, that it's a definite, because you can certainly get those weak tropical kind of funnels that we get this time of year or anything like that. So it is possible you could see something like that. But as it stands right now, I am not seeing any threat for that. But if you are on 165 between Forest Hill and Oakdale, that's where the worst of this is. And then to the east here into Evangeline Parish, northern Evangeline Parish, that's where we're seeing the worst of this right now. And a severe thunderstorm watch includes most of the area. This is more of a summertime kind of setup. When you get plenty of moisture and instability, we get these storms to form along the outflow and they kind of trail back behind that. And then we'll see new development along this. And then with these storms coming in from the northwest, we will see those kind of joining forces, and we could see an area of enhanced activity, probably northern Sabine, northern Natchitoches into Wynn Parish. So, yes, hail. How big was the hail? If anybody has a picture of that, that would be lovely. Just looking back, nice and beautiful sunshine in Pineville. Yeah, I was just out. I mean, it's hot. It's toasty up here. I think we went past that forecast high of 86. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Cane River, it's going to get there. See, we're going to have the issue up there is going to be you're closer to where these things are going to kind of come together. So we have these severe storms out here across northeast Texas, and then we have this surging up from the south. So we're going to get colliding outflows here. And if we kind of map this out, let's just pause it here. Let's say the outflow boundary, outflow's the word of the day here. Roughly something like that. This one's probably about like that. So as these kind of come together here, let's just move them at equal kind of distances here, equal speeds here. It looks like the area of most concern for these to come together is probably just on the northern fringes of our area, but right there, I think we're going to start to see these come together and create some decent storms and possibly some heavy rainfall. And as that happens, as that kind of lifts that air and forces everything up, that's where I think we could see at least some sort of a flooding threat as well. A couple, maybe 3 inches. It's not going to linger forever because this is also going to choke off the instability once these collide and combine, and we get all that heavy rainfall, and that's going to knock the instability out for the time being. But it does look like one flood warning now down around Lafayette. Looks like that is just east of Lafayette, actually. And so I am just taking a look, make sure hail in Oakdale. Yes, if anybody has any video or picture, large hail in Oakdale. Okay. Nothing for Avoyles yet. You have the watch. We're looking to see what's going on here with that. Fort Johnson, you had the outflow come through, and what happens with these, and this is why summer is so tricky, and I know it's not summer, but you know how it goes. It's Louisiana summer. So this is... Let me take all that off. This is showing that outflow boundary. So that is through base right there. That your radar is on Fort Johnson. And we're not seeing any big development here. Watching out to the west as this continues on to the north here. I'm not seeing any really stout new development. This is the storm I'm really watching because it's kind of hugging that boundary and staying closer to it. So that's going to have more of a source to lift the air. And there's plenty of instability and warmth out ahead of it. For some reason, things are not quite happening and not really able to mature west of this. But you can see out further west, we did have that. And that's just how it goes. Little factors in the atmosphere can go a long way to kind of changing what's happening with these storms. But as I was saying, what's really important for you to know, and for like amateur radar fans who like to look at things, one thing I want you to know: if you're ever like you're offshore, you're on the water, you're out where you're going to perhaps be at risk of having some issues with being on the water. I mean, this outflow here is most likely kicking the wind up to 30-40 miles per hour. In fact, let me go ahead and I'm going to pull up the current conditions. I'm going to see what we had out there at Fort Johnson as this went through. And let's see if it's updated. It might not have updated just yet, but I'm going to just check and see what we're getting. It's not quite to Alexandria yet. That's when I'll have a better idea of things right here. But there are going to be some strong wind gusts with this. And for some reason, why would you not let me click on that? Okay, here we go. Yeah, that last update was at 3:55, so winds were calm, so it was not there yet. Let me see if it went through DeRidder. Just trying to get an idea on the wind gusts as this thing comes through. DeRidder's reporting heavy rainfall right now. If you're just tuning in, I just like 10 minutes ago finished a little jog, or 20 minutes or something. I'm still sweating, so. But hey, I can hop right on and do this, and if I sweat a little, we're okay. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. This now over mostly Evangeline Parish, extreme northeastern Allen Parish as well. The severe thunderstorm watch goes until 6 up here in Rapides, Vernon, Avoyelles. It goes until 9 for Sabine and Natchitoches, and here we go. Yeah, it gusted to 31 in DeRidder. So, I mean, that's one observation. It's not necessarily representative of the strongest winds with the outflow, but 30, 35, maybe 40 mile per hour gusts, that can cause problems, especially on these larger bodies of water like that. So if you are planning on heading out to the water, it looks good, you're sitting there at Ayat Lake, you're not really seeing much going on yet. Well, it's not going to be the best thing for you to do, because if nothing else, the wind is really going to pick up for a time there. Now, behind that, if you decide, hey, it's time, I need to go out there and hit the evening bite, well, as long as it's not lightning, I mean, I guess you'll be all right. But severe thunderstorm watch does continue for a large chunk of the area. We have this one warning here in northern Evangeline. I'm going to go and see here. Yeah, and down the line, this is going to get through Avoyelles. It's going to go through it. The outflow is going to push through the entire area. The question becomes where are we going to see the storms developing? And it's really kind of a haphazard development there. But anywhere near and just behind this, because that outflow, it's going to lift the air, and then it's going to happen behind that. So we're going to see storms become strongest. You can see one developing right here. Yeah, that's probably going to become something there. So again, on the south end of Toledo Bend, some big storms there. And then, like I talk about small scale things going on. Well, you can just see these little elements on radar here. That could be a little convergent band right there that I'm seeing with some deeper cloud cover, and this could hit that, and we could see some storms pop up. So that's the little small scale stuff that you just can't forecast more than, an hour out or whatever, a couple hours out. Warnings continue just east of Lafayette, east of Baton Rouge. So I-10, I-12 going to be rough. 49 is bad from about the Bunkie exit down to Lafayette, and then it's going to get worse as we head up toward the northwest. Can't hear me? You should be able to. I think you should be able to hear me. Let me see. I will pull myself up on the phone. You should be able to. Yep, you can hear me. I think it might be an audio issue on your end, but everything is looking good and clean coming out through this. Now, the outflow is heading up toward the north here. This storm looks a little bit weaker than it did, but look what happened in the last frame. There go the storms right there. I don't know what that noise was, but yeah, we have storms that just blew up right there behind the outflow. That's how quickly it happens. That's why when I see this coming through, you've got gusty winds that you could be dealing with right along the outflow, but that's how quick it goes. Let me show you how quick this happened. Okay, so at 4:28, 9 minutes ago, nothing. We get a little something at 4:32, 4:37, full-fledged thunderstorm, and I'm guessing it has lightning. Yeah, we're already seeing lightning strikes out of that. Of course, lightning down here with this one. That's how quickly things change. We go from nothing to a storm in about 10 minutes. So if you are out in the Forest Hill, Glenmora area, Union Hill, you're trying to get cleaned up after what happened a couple of nights ago, it looks like these storms are popping up, and this could make it into Alexandria, so we will be watching that closely. Again, these are severe storms. There is severe potential. Again, right there near Toledo Bend, seeing new storms develop behind that outflow. So as these storms develop and mature, we could see a couple of warnings. I think the tornado threat is very low. We could briefly see a decent hail threat, as we've already seen in Oakdale. I don't know what that sound effect was. I'm sorry. I sometimes do things. And then we have more coming in from the northwest. So this combines and kind of joins forces. Let me see if I see the outflow on that yet, just to get a great idea of where it is. And I still don't see it because we're out here. We're about 4,000 feet up, so that should start to show up. That might be it right there northwest of Shreveport. And once we see those outflow boundaries, both on radar, once we can see them, we'll know as they combine where we're going to see probably some enhanced thunderstorm development. But right now, your main threat is going to be isolated 60-mile-per-hour winds, like microburst type wind, and then, it's going to last not that long, but could cause some problems. And then we are going to see the possibility of some heavy rainfall and lots of lightning as well. Let me take a look here. I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to pull the camera up. It just takes me a second. You know how this goes. Frames, sky cams. We'll just pull up Alexandria, and I'm going to pan that down toward the south and see what kind of view we have. Yeah, it's getting darker that way. And there it is. And actually, you can kind of see here. Well, you know what? I moved. My head's in the way. So that is probably our new storm development that's going up right now. Got up to 89 degrees. It is toasty out there. And that's the new storm that's popping around Glenmora, Forest Hill. Dew point's kind of low, so what that shows me is, and that might be why we're not seeing just a widespread solid line of storms. So the dew point's at 67. A lot of times we're in the 70s here. What that can cause, though, that can really enable those downdrafts to form and bring some pretty strong wind out of this. So drier air near the surface, you get a downdraft coming out of that thunderstorm. That really drops down efficiently, and that can spread out, and that causes your microburst winds. So something to look for there. Possibly some isolated power outages. If you're already out of power, maybe it'll turn it back on. I don't think that's how it works, but who knows. So here's what the radar looks like. Severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5. I could see them trimming that back. Let's see. Let me look. I'm just pulling up see if they're saying anything about the warning. Nothing new. St. Landry, yeah, that flood warning clips the southern part of that. So another flood warning down there near Beaumont. But up here, we're just going to be watching for this this new development that I think probably tries to make it in here. But you see, when these develop, they're going to move more toward the east. Now, we are seeing more developing toward Fort Johnson as well. So then these are just going to kind of drift on toward the east or east-northeast slowly. So it's kind of a crapshoot. Who sees the rain, who doesn't? I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth, because I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen when we're given this set of circumstances. But the threat is there for a few severe storms, mainly with wind and some hail, perhaps to an inch in diameter, being the main threat. That storm up there near Jacksonville, Texas, looks flat out nasty, though. But that one, I think, weakens a bit. Thank you, Kathy. Let me see. All right. Well, if anybody has a picture of hail out of Oakdale, I'd love to get a size on that. So if you can tell me kind of what or if you have a quarter or something, you can kind of compare it to that and tell me, what we had. You can send it on a message. You can comment here on the video, or you can just get it to me somehow. But you can see that warning there is shrinking down, and it looks like in that last frame, most of the worst of this storm is now out of that. So it looks pretty rough out here in St. Landry Parish. Notice behind all this, behind that first kind of curtain of heavier rain showers and storms, it looks, apart from this storm, like everything gets a little lighter. So I don't think this is a long-lasting thing into the night. So if we get through this, then it looks like things are going to improve a bit. And then tomorrow is kind of our transition day back to where we see things improving. I know we need some dry time for sure. I like the relatively cooler air, but after this all moves through, and let me look at something. I'd looked at this earlier, and I just wanted to see what the latest. Yeah, it looks like there's going to be another round on Sunday, maybe on Monday, but the chances are going to start to come down. So some good news for you there. I think that warning's out. Okay, no warning, so I think I'm going to step aside here. Tom was prepping the 7-day. We were kind of making our plan, and I was like, wait a second, there's a warning. I'm also going to go out and watch as that outflow comes through because I'm a nerd. All right, guys, be careful, be safe. Right now, just some strong thunderstorms with lightning and heavy rainfall. Again, the outflow is right now, if you're out at Toledo Bend, this is just north of Pirates Cove, heading up toward Esto and Turtle Beach. So you're next here, and that's going to be something you're going to see. It's going to look very dramatic, and we can get those storms as we are popping right behind that. So if you're anywhere on the water right now, I would go ahead and get off. Now, if you're up here near Sicily Island or something, you're out on the Black River, you may have another hour or so. Depends on where you're at. Just be safe. But yeah, those thunderstorms right now not requiring warnings locally apart from extreme southeastern St. Landry Parish. So I'm going to get out of here and let Tom come on whenever he's ready and do his 7-day and all that stuff and his forecast. And he'll go through and tell you some smart guy stuff too. Okay, I'll see you back here later, or hopefully not at all. See ya.